Oh boy, credit cards. These things should be very easy to understand, but our financial education sucks in this country, so everyone seems to get fucked by them day in, day out. If you've ever looked at the American consumer debt, you would see, I think it's in the trillions by this point. I think that number just keeps going up and up and up and up and up until something happens. Something will happen. Who knows? But the key to this is don't become a part of that number. You got to work against that number. Now, credit cards are very simple. You spend money on them. Okay? You take money and you buy something. You buy this shoe. Okay, right here. You buy that shoe and you pay and you use this credit card here with the tap or the chip, whatever they accept, and you put it on the card. Then that becomes a balance on your card. And then on your app or whatever, you'll see a balance. That balance right here will say you owe, I don't know, $70. Once it pens, once it goes through processing, it'll say you owe $70. And whenever that next payment comes around for your card, whatever that date may be, in the statement after it's posted, meaning that it's successfully confirmed, you will owe $70. It's that simple. You owe $70. However, credit cards want to screw you, and the way they do that is they will offer you a minimum payment. Now, this minimum payment is going to be like $10. And you could be like, well, I'm a little short on money right now. I'm just going to pay that $10. That way, it's not considered late. And then this is where the credit card company comes to get you and bite you right in the ass, where you pay that $10, but now you have $60 left to pay, and they're going to be charging 30% interest on that. It might be more, it might be less, depending on the card you have, but they're going to charge you 30% interest in that. And so you can do some basic math on that, see how much that would be. But it's simple that you don't want to be paying 30% interest on anything, because unless you're Warren Buffett, not even Warren Buffett, unless you're the Medallion Fund, you're not going to be making anywhere near that. So anything you put in credit card debt that you don't pay off because you're paying monthly payments, you're going to be losing a lot of money. Why am I circling that in green? You're going to be losing a lot of money. So the key is to never use credit cards unless you can pay for things. The only possible exception we could see is, if you lose your job, you get a pink slip or whatever the heck they do nowadays. I'm too young to have lost a job yet, but you get a pink slip, you're fired, you're furloughed, whatever it may be, and you can't afford anything, and you have to use a credit card. Okay, if that's the case, use it as little as you possibly can. Put as much effort as you can to pay anything off using debit or card or just anything that isn't credit. And then the second you start getting money in again, the second money starts rolling on in from whatever job you have, pay it off, because you don't want this. You do not want this. And on the bright side, if you do pay everything right, then if you do pay, actually, whether or not you pay it, you'll still get let's say 1.5% cash back. And I mean, that's a number out there. That's what there's a lot of cards do 1% or 1.5, maybe get it to 2, maybe higher depending on certain categories of spending. So you can actually make some money off of it. In credit cards, you delay the time you spend, the time you take to have to pay the money, and you get cash back on it. Now, again, another pitfall here. I repeat, do not say, oh, I get 1.5% back. I'm going to chuck a whole bunch of shit on here, and then realize, oh, now I can't pay it. Because then you're going to get screwed over even more, and you're going to have this hole of debt, a great hole, just like the classic Onion article, not the Onion article, the Onion video the big money hole. And you do not, even though they loved it in the video, you do not want this big money hole, because it's going to be on fire the second you start getting these 30% interest payments charged to you on an annual basis. Well, it's charged to you on a monthly basis, but 30% annually for some cards. So essentially, the key is put whatever you want on the credit cards, as long as you know that you can pay it off. And if you can't pay it off, then you either don't need it, you are in a situation, where's my pink slip, where you only need it for a period of time, then you must pay that off as soon as you possibly can, or you're just going to have to go debit. You just got to go debit, pay for it, because you know if you leave it here and you don't end up paying it and you cop out with this minimum monthly payment, you're going to get fucked in the end. So that's the key. There's more to go over too, like, yeah, credit card payments and the fees they charge businesses can screw over small business, but that's just how the system works. It's not a good thing, but that's how the system works, and I doubt that's ever going to change. So that's just unfortunate. But yeah, don't get fucked by 30% interest. Either make the full payment or don't use it at all, or your money's going to be on fire in the money pit. And you can get some cash back though. It's not going to offset that, but you can get some cash back. But if you use it properly, you get that cash back, and you save some time where your money isn't being used until the end of that month when the payment's due. Extra time for interest in a savings account. Perfect. If only the actual school system could teach this.